Hello everyone again, and welcome once more to our webinar from the Multiversity Consortium of the HP Catalyst Initiative, titled Innovations in Online STEM Learning and International Perspective. We are very fortunate to have Dr. Betty Lawrence, Anesh Kumar Mayara, and Soyan Wang with us today for this presentation. I'd like to take a moment to briefly introduce Dr. Lawrence to you. She will inform us about the Multiversity Consortium and HP Catalyst Initiative and introduce our other presenters. Betty has an EDD in Mathematics of Education from the University of Rochester at Sunny Empire State College. She has primarily served as a mentor coordinator in the area of mathematics. As an area coordinator for the Center for Distance Learning, she has facilitated the development of over 20 online math courses, including those for general education as well as upper division courses. Her research interests center on the facilitation and assessment of mathematics learning online. Before we start the presentation, I would like to turn the microphone over to our Executive Director, John Bourne. John, would you like to say a few words before we start?
Sure, Betty. Sure, Zara. And before I turn it over to Betty, I can say a word or two. It's just a delight for me to see all these folks here. And I was just looking at the attendees. And I think with having Anesh here and Yannicol there in China, and Betty talking about the folks in work going on with their work with Russia and all, we're touching all corners of the globe today, so it would be very interesting to see how this turns out. So I'm really delighted to also see that Jim Vanites from Hewlett-Packard is here, and we appreciate their support for doing these webinars and the work that's going on in the Multiversity Consortium. So with that, Zarin, I guess I should turn it over to Betty to move this forward then. Thank you all.
Thanks, John. And Betty, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you, John, for being here, and Jim as well, and thanks, Zeder, for organizing all of this for us. As indicated, I'm going to begin with just a short introduction to the Catalyst Initiative, and then I will introduce each of our distinguished speakers. The HP Catalyst Initiative has the goal of establishing a network of leading educators, educational institutions, and key stakeholders in selected countries to explore innovative approaches to STEM education. The aim of the group is transformational learning experience for students, and the group has certainly been working on transformation within the participants and also the students they work with. The approach taken by the HP Catalyst Group is multidisciplinary, collaborative, and global. Each international HP consortium brings together experts in various types of educational institutions. These experts focus on specific opportunities to use technology to enhance STEM teaching and learning. Over the past year, the consortia members have focused on a range of issues, from teacher preparation and student-driven learning models to student assessment. Each of us as a member is charged with investigating how emerging technologies can lead to learning experiences that promote creative thinking, open-ended problem solving, and cross-cultural collaboration. We were very thrilled to all be invited to an HP Summit in India last March to share ideas across groups. And from that meeting, several projects got additional funding, and these include a Sloan-C certificate program for online STEM faculty. The presenters today are all members of the Multiversity Consortium. And that consortium is exploring new ways to provide online STEM education to post-secondary, secondary, and adult learners. The group also is investigating models of online professional development for teachers and faculty. Several members of the Multiversity Group have already provided Sloan-C webinars, and those recordings are available. On April 20th, Larissa Nadali of Westchester University, Pennsylvania, spoke on Science Ethics Interactive. an ethics lesson in the virtual environment, OpenSim. On April 6th, colleagues from National University spoke on gate design. And on February 22nd, colleagues from Western Washington University spoke about remote access to scientific instrumentation. And on February 9th, Empire State College faculty spoke on empowering STEM faculty for the 21st century. And now I'm going to introduce our two presenters, and then they will each speak, and there will be time for questions at the end of each of their presentations and also at the end. And the slide you see now I chose because it actually has Zoyan and her colleague with their backs facing you, and it was a presentation that I and Pauline Carrico did at the HP Summit on faculty development. So first, Anesh Kumar Maharaj. He is a mathematical lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. His research interests focus on how to promote the teaching and learning of mathematics and advanced mathematical thinking. He has taught senior secondary mathematics, trained mathematics teachers, and lectured to university mathematics students. Previously, he trained math teachers at Springfield College of Education and South African College for Open Learning. He has written and presented often on the teaching and learning of mathematics using what he's called APOS theory, APOS. And APOS refers to the mental structures of action, process, object, and schema, and is based on the theories of Piaget. He and his university became associate members of the HP Catalyst Group, and for 2011-2012 have received a grant to develop online math models in Moodle. Xueyang Wang is a research assistant at the School of Information at Renmin University of China. She received her bachelor's degree in computer science and technology from Central South University in 2003 and master's degree in computer software and theory from Shandong University in 2006. After that, she served as a software engineer at IBM for 1 year, and then as an instructor of computer science in Ludong University for 3 years. Her research focuses on database theory, intelligent information retrieval, and massive data storage and analysis. She is also published in the area of web technologies. Zhiyang and her institution became recipients of the HP Catalyst Award in 2010. They are continuing their project to create collaborative online spaces for their students. And now I'll turn the microphone over to Anesh for his presentation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anesh Kumar Maharaj from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. The project on which the slides are based is called Maths for the Natural Sciences. Just a bit about the University of KwaZulu-Natal. The University of KwaZulu-Natal has 5 campuses. 4 of them are situated in the Durban area and 1 about 80 kilometers away in the Pietermaritzburg region. At the university, we follow a blended approach. Students attend lectures and they also access information online. The students that we receive are of mixed abilities. During the past few years, the students who we receive from schools lack basic mathematical knowledge and skills. In order to try and cope with this, we came up with this project. So the project abstract, the use of technology to effectively manage the teaching and learning of the Maths 133 module to about 1,000 students. Make the relevant materials accessible to students, and we also wanted to increase communication amongst students and lecturing staff. Moodle was introduced at our university during the second part of 2010. So this is the second year in which we are using this platform. Now, when students access the website for the Maths for the Natural Sciences module, this is what they will be able to see. If you look at it, just after the topic outline, there's a welcome, and it indicates which sections this module comprises of. There's a section for notices, another for information and handouts, functions and calculus, that was the section that I handled. Another colleague of mine handled basics and matrices. And there's also a section on test and exam papers. Now, on the left-hand side, you've got administration, and there are a number of functions. I will deal with some of those functions later on. I'm going to concentrate on the parts numbered 1 to 5, notices right through tests and exam papers. Sorry. Right. When students go to notices, they are able to access the notices that are put up for each of the days or for certain days of the week. And this sort of helps us to keep in contact with the students, and they know what's going on in the module. For example, if you look at the notice that was put up on the 1st of April, it indicates for test 2 information, refer to the information and handout section. In the folder, information for tests and exams, you'll find A, the seating plan, B, guidelines for test 2, and C, instructions for Maths 133 tests. The names of students registered for Maths 197 should appear in the seating plan for the venue T4. Now, Maths 197 students wrote the same tests and exams as the Maths 133 students. Okay, we now look at the information and handouts folder. When students click on that, they get information for tests and exams. There's an information sheet that outlines the rules for the module. There's also a note to tutors as to how the tutorials should be conducted. There was a handout on the use of calculators, which type of calculators students were allowed to use. And there was a lecture schedule, which indicated the lectures for each week, the topics that were to be dealt with. This is an example of the information sheet. On this, the contact details for the lecturers appeared. There were 3 lecture groups, and there were 3 lecturers. The venues for the lectures and the tutorials were given, and this is just part of the information on the information sheet. We now look at the folder for functions and calculus. When students click on that, they get access to the lectures. Here we can see the lectures 1 to 16 that were done at that particular time. If students click on these, any one of those lectures, they'll get the actual lecture. For example, this is one of the lectures on growth and decay. The part that's in black, that's sort of pre-planned before the lecture, it's a lecture outline. And the parts indicated in the different colors is what's filled in during the lecture. For lectures, I used a PC tablet, and it made my work quite easy. You'll notice that above in red, the page number is given. The page number refers to the page in the prescribed text. So students can go to the prescribed text while the lecture is on. The next slide deals with the folder. Again, it's a folder for functions and calculus. There's a section, the part for tutorials. So if they click on that, for tutorials, they'll get the guideline tutorial requirements. The next file they dealt with homework, one of the homework units, I think it's homework unit 8. And there's a folder for some solutions. During tutorials, as the tutors come across problems that the students are having, difficulties that they're having, and also the lecturer who's in charge of the TUT comes up with student difficulties, then these difficulties are later on, we try to address these difficulties and we put up some solutions for the tutorials. This is an example of the homework unit. Like you'll notice here, there's homework unit 7. It indicates it's due for tutorial week beginning 28th of March. That was in the first semester this year. And then we had homework unit 8 due for tutorial week beginning 4th of April. What we do is we put these up during the course of the week, the tutorials that are due for the next week. If students want to work ahead, then below the horizontal line, some of the tutorial problems for subsequent weeks are given. So this allows students to work ahead if they want to. We are now looking at the test and exam papers folder. In that, the students can access past exam papers. There was a sample MCQ multiple choice questions. This was for the first test. There were also tests for the last year, 2010, and then the tests for this year, 2011. Obviously, these were put up after the tests for 2011. So if the students went to the tests for 2011 and they clicked, they would have got, at that particular time, test 1. This was a PDF copy of test 1. And then the next file deals with test 1 with solutions, the solutions to the test questions. This slide deals with the sample MCQ questions that were given to the students. This was available online. It gave them an idea of the type of questions that they could expect. This was the first time that the students were writing multiple choice test. So they wanted to know what type of questions to expect. Okay, this slide is similar to one, I think it was the second or third slide. This is what students access, but what I did over here is I turned, if you go to the left-hand side, somewhere midway down the first column, under administration, it's got what appears there is now turn editing off. I clicked on turn editing on, and this is what appeared. If you look at the right-hand side under notices, you'll find there's a hand with a pen. Again, under information and handouts, there's a hand with a pen. If you go below that folder, there's a hand with a pen. If you click on that, you can edit each of the folders. I now want to concentrate on the left-hand side under administration, and above that, if you click on assign roles, and this is what appears. For example, there were 3 of us teaching this module. So under teacher, there's 3 users. Non-editing teacher, there were 32. These included our tutors. And students, we had at the time the slide was made, 936. Okay, if one clicks on participants, which was higher up on the left-hand side, then one would view something like this. This gives us an idea of, well, at this particular time, all participants were 971. It gives you an idea of the activities of each participant. For example, if you look at under Anesh Kumar Maharaj, the last access was for 11 seconds. You look at the next name, the last access was for 55 days, 2 hours. When I inquired about this, I was told that most probably the student logged on but did not log off. So that is why the last access is for so many days. Well, under participants, this is what we've got, and there's also a section for blogs next to participants, and there's a section for notes. If you click on each one of those, you'll get the blogs and notes. Still under participants, this was on page 34 of participants. You'll notice that there were some people who never accessed the website. So once we're able to find out who these people were, we encouraged them in class to access the website, and things did improve. The next slide deals with reports. And under reports, I clicked on statistics, and I was able to view the activities for the past 4 weeks at that particular time. You'll notice that at the beginning of the semester, less than 500, it seems less than 500 students use the website. Well, it's not really 500 students, but it indicates the number of times students use the website. You'll notice that there are certain peaks, and this seems to be somewhere during the midweek when the tutorials were put up. Okay, are there any questions?
Betty, would you like to direct Jim's questions to Anesh?
Oh, I guess I wasn't heard. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, there are questions, and I thought I'd start with some, Anesh, with some questions, and you can see them up in the discussion board from Jim Vanides. One has to is the question: do you lecture directly from MS Journal software presented onto a screen in the room? And it had to do with where you showed us the lectures that you were doing.
Yes, we use Windows Journal, and that's from the tablet. There's a projection onto the screen. Could we have the next question?
Sure. Another question from Jim, and he's quite impressed with how you manage interaction with almost 1,000 students. So he was wondering if Moodle has some tools for easily managing so many students.
There are tools where you could, I think, with students, communicate via email. They send an email from Moodle. I've seen that a few times. I don't know how they do it, but that email also arrives on my desktop. And yeah, I'm not very familiar with all the tools. Presently, I'm still looking at this, and we hope to develop sort of an online assessment, which we're going to look at in the next 6 months. And hopefully with that, students will be able to interact more with us.
That's great, and for those of us looking at using Moodle, especially in mathematics, your work already is quite impressive. There's another question from Paige Zerzak. How were tests managed? Did all the students have to get on at the same time to take the test? If not, how were they staggered?
Okay, the tests weren't done online. We're still working on online testing. That's going to be in the next 6 months. Hopefully we'll have it ready in the early part of next year. For tests, we ran out the tests and we booked different venues. These were written tests, and all of them wrote at the same time.
Okay, great. And yes, I mean, as I mentioned, you have a continuing grant with Hewlett-Packard, and this is a project that you will be working on over the next year. There is another question, again from Paige. What kind of interactions were students required to perform? It seems like students got the content from the course, but did not necessarily interact with each other.
Okay, the interactions took place, away from us. They used to interact outside the lecture venues. Some of them used to meet in the library and work. During the tutorial periods, we got the students into groups of 30, and there was a tutor. And within that group, they interacted amongst themselves.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Anish, I don't see other questions. Is there someone else who wants to raise their hand that has a question? Or otherwise we will move on to Mr. Young. Okay, let's move on to the next presentation. Thank you very much, Anish. That was really interesting.
Hello. Thank you very much, Betty. Could you hear me? Hello, everybody. Hello, could you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you okay, although there is a little bit of noise.
Yes, outside is storm, so here is lightning and thunder, so maybe the sound is not so good now. Okay, I'll change the headset. Hello, how about now?
Much better, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you everybody. Thank you, Betty. Hello everyone. This is Xiaoyan at Renmin University of China. Thank you. I will take a brief introduction about our project and some details for what we have found and what we intend to do next. Our project name is Research and Promotion of Collaborative Online Learning Education. As the slides divided into 5 parts: introduction, logic model, research objectives, project website, and the ask system. My presentation would mainly focus on the motivation of our project, the way we implemented it in the past semester, and what we intend to do next. This project plans to apply the idea of collaborative online learning platform into IT courses, explore an effective online collaborative learning pattern to tackle the emerging challenges in STEM plus education, and to evaluate the performance of participants, including teachers, students, and the platform. As we all know, nowadays, both online learning and in-class lectures pose challenges and limitations in leading students to a deep comprehension of IT education and its real-world applications. Our project is exploring how combining these 2 different forms of learning within a single hybrid course will enhance the IT knowledge and critical problem-solving skills of our students. Teachers will use class time to convey the key basic points of the curriculum and send the students online to explore further details and to engage in more in-depth in study time with classmates. The objective online collaborative learning pattern is a combination of collaborative learning, experience training, and problem-solving training. It will be achieved by a blended learning of face-to-face classes, self-learning, conducted exploring, and project-based experiences. Learners solved the problems registered in the platform as they simulated on learning software and held inter-group and inter-group discussions through network communication. Distance mentoring from teachers was provided. These photos show the participation of our teachers and students in the project in introduction and the interview. We want to encourage students to learn and to find and to solve problems mainly by themselves. Teachers would conduct them mainly in the way of large sum activities, for example, to introduce some classical papers in the related field and ask students to think more about related problems and to give some solutions all by themselves. And to challenge a competition in groups and publish the results online by themselves, and so on. Surely we have an incentive mechanism to encourage students to take part in this program, to conduct them, developing their skills more effectively. And this is the homepage of our HP project website. It is a static website with the basic information of related projects. And with the fund and support from HP and helps from our friends in Multiversity. We have provided the course named Application of Database Systems to School of Information in University of China and conducted a study to examine the online collaborative learning method and accumulate experiences during this process. We have published the ask to support this project. It could be reached at theask.co.be. C is the first letter of both 知道 and 知识 in Chinese. That is just as know and knowledge in English. And ask is used to encourage students to involved in the course to think further, ask more confusing questions, help to answer and solve more problems from the others, and also take part into various kinds of activities. This is the homepage of the ask and follows are the modules in it. For the course is taught in Chinese this semester, so the system is in Chinese version by now. This is the channel for the newest activities, and this one is the channel for questions from students and answers from both teachers and students. And this page shows the questions that haven't been answered, and this is the 10 channel for sorting questions in the related topics. And this one is 4 types of active channels. If we see the 10 channel would divide the topics vertically in depth, the top channel would organize the topics horizontally in wise. And here is the first page of our user list sorted by activities. For statistical information collection and system safety guarantee, users could post their questions only after logging into the ask. If not, this page would give them a promote and contact. I will go back to the homepage of the ask, and we have used several data collection methodologies for different target populations, including teachers and students, to examine the efficiency and effectiveness of the applied collaborative learning pattern and the effective use of the ask, including interviews, observations, questionnaires, and test activity records, etc. Data from experiments, course examinations, post questionnaires, and inquiries from teachers are also collected. And evaluating from the interview of involved students and teachers for the past semester, we have found that methods used in this program work effectively for educational purpose. And analysis were conducted based on this collected data from various sources. Positive results have been observed from some basic analysis. For example, the final examination results indicate that it was effective for students' learning and have a obvious positive correlation with students' activities in the ask. And all of the students have their account in the ask, and over 98% of students have taken part into online discussion and activities. And more than half of the information discussed in the ask are supposed to be meaningful and helpful. And finally, the knowledge acquired in the ask is effectively applied in discussions in class. We also have learned that the conduct role of teachers and the teacher assistants should be enhanced, and the ZF system should be improved on its usability, adaptation, and internationalization. Though the focus in this project is on individual students collaborating with their peers, teachers still have a vital role in facilitating learning. This is what we learned from the past phase of this project. And at the very beginning, we would like to encourage students discussing and exploring all by themselves, but the topics are usually to be only on the surface level. It then turns to be clearly and helpful that the teachers must introduce the online collaborative learning activities in a thoughtful way that contributes to an overreaching design plan for the course. We will also collect related data from teachers and teacher assistants. Researchers suggested that collaborative learning bring positive results such as deeper understanding of content, increase the overall achievement in grades, improved self-esteem, and a higher motivation to remain on task. It helps students become actively and constructively involved in content, to take ownership of their own learning, and to resolve group conflicts and improve teamwork skills. As the past semester was just finished, data obtained from this project will be deeply analyzed later to find out how to build up a more effective online collaborative learning pattern and how the method and materials provided would be more useful and helpful. Now we are evaluating its efforts to make necessary adjustments, configuration, and development. We plan to explain this project to the students who will take the course named Foundation of Database System in the next semester. We will use a series of formative assignments to find a proper pattern that make this kind of collaborative learning to be more interesting, effective, and could improve teaching and learning effects and impacts. The target population is composed of all sophomore students who have selected this course in the coming semester. And for further thinking and development, we would like to develop a much more effective way and combine the quantitative and qualitative methods together to evaluate the system effectiveness and the collaborative learning methods. Summarize the experience and lessons learned during the project implementation, and adjust the teaching mode in both synchronous and asynchronous approaches, so that we could apply the improved implementation of collaborative learning teaching practice in selected new courses and share our experience with the others. We intend to build up a Web 2-based platform which is supported by web technologies and combined with both traditional communication methods and social network resources, and with better user experience with related learning, sharing, collaboration, data collection, and evaluation functions for users to visit it through remotely accessible virtual environments and customize the system as their favorites. It is expected to improve the quality of education effectively and based on the constructivism and complexity theory. A practicable model will be presented by analyzing the applicable of collaborative learning for web-based instructions. We hope more courses will be involved when this way of education proves effect using the promoted theory of formative assessments as a kind of standard. And the achievement and experience from it will be shared, and more students will benefit from our ongoing research. We hope the Web tool-based platform could make a further promotion of content development, e-learning operation, and the development of more courses for STM plus education. And all these are just a part of aspects of our project so far. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. This is very interesting, and I don't know if you were able to see that there are some questions. Jim had a question. How many students are involved in your course? You mentioned it was for all sophomores.
In the past semester, we have 2 classes to take this experiments. That is, say, 60 and 3 teachers.
Okay, great. And also there are a number of comments here. One thing that Thalia noticed is that it looks like all students can customize a picture for themselves that's attached to their postings. And then she felt that made it more personalized. Do you want to talk at all about why you worked on customizing the pictures?
You mean customizing the picture, or you mean the website?
I think it was when anyone posted something on to the system that they had a picture of themselves that they created.
Sorry, Betty, I'm not sure if I'm clearly with your question.
Oh, sure. When you were talking about ZASC, when each person posted something, there was a picture next to the person that looks like that they had created for themselves. Did you hear that question? It just had to do with them making a picture for themselves when they posted a comment. I've gone back to the slide. So it looks like almost like a cartoon picture that the participant created for themselves. Yeah, Jim called it correct. They created avatars for themselves.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just forgot to press the button. I mean, the students have their cartoon offender in this system, but they use the true name as the real word, as in the real world, so they know each other, what they say and what they are.
Oh, great! That's a really nice idea. Very interesting.
I'm sorry, Betty. I want to say we will have a next version of the app, so we will have a better user experience, and we would allow users to use their own vendor, and namely we will encourage them to use their photos for that. Thank you.
Oh, very interesting. And Jim has another comment. He says he's very intrigued by ZACS and wonders if it includes some features that make it easier to analyze the collaboration that you're researching.
We have different groups for different tasks. For example, we have experiments in database in codes, and also we have some papers to send to students and ask them to give a further thinking about it. Namely, only one student mainly give some very brief thinking about it, so we ask them to in a group to give us a more powerful result about that. And we want to encourage them to be divided into groups by classes or by not only by classes or dorms. That is it.
Very interesting. Are there other questions? Does someone want to raise their hand or type in another question? Okay, then I'll move on. And what I wanted to do for just a few minutes, and then we can open up to general questions regarding all the different things that were talked about during this session. Most of what I'm going to mention here are just some brief things, and most of them have to do with upcoming webinars in the fall. As I mentioned earlier, through Sloan-C and through the Hewlett-Packard initiative, we have had wonderful opportunities to do collaboration both within the Multiversity Group and within the whole HP initiative. And when we went to India, one of the sessions, the two sessions that we did actually were shared poster sessions. So we were able to walk around and find out more details about what all of our colleagues were doing. And this slide has to do with a group, the Graduate School of Education in the University of Bristol, and they're part of the Pedagogy 3.0 group. And they're doing an exciting project which they're calling eScapes, and working with students to create films on science concepts. And there's some very neat things happening there, and so I have included their contact information, and there are plans for them to present in the fall. We also, while in India, heard from members of the cloud group, many interesting projects going on with putting things in the cloud so that they could be easily accessed around the world. And this also includes the Cairo Cloud Computer Group, and some colleagues from Eastern Carolina University as well. We will have a presentation on September 7th about the Galicia Supercomputing Center, and some very interesting things they're using with cloud computing in order to reach rural schools. And as part of the HP Catalyst, what Empire State College did is that we connected with colleagues in St. Petersburg, Russia, in our faculty development project. And I was able to go to St. Petersburg and meet with the colleagues there. And we've had many video conferences with our colleagues, and they recently had a phone conversation, audio conference with colleagues at Eastern Michigan University to talk about engineering projects. So we're very excited that they are going to be talking about their work. They've created this product called AnyLogic, which has a lot of applications, both face-to-face and online. And so that should be a really interesting presentation coming up. And I did want to talk just a little bit about another group that we met in India. The Agastya International Foundation does lead one of the groups, and their theme is sparking creativity in rural India. And what you see is my colleague Pauline Carrico at a science demonstration where the students talk to us about science. And what Agastya does is they fill vans with science equipment, simple things, not fancy, but to really show concepts, and then they go throughout India to excite Indian children to science, and they've had some wonderful results. And also in India, we learned about the ringtones project, and for that they are using mobile devices to connect with other people and to really see if they could excite students to design some of their own learning. So those are just some things to give you an idea of what is happening within this very exciting consortium funded by HP and ISTE. And now if you have other questions, please type them in or raise your hand about anything that you heard today. Jim, if you have your mic, could you speak for a few minutes about the project since you're so involved in it?
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's great.
Yes, I have the privilege of working with the members of the Catalyst Initiative. There's
Jim, press your mic again. We lost you. Jim, I don't see your mic on. Can you try pressing it again, or did you lose access? Oh, well, darn. Anyhow, Jim did give a. Oh, try again, Jim.
Let's see if this works now. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's great.
Okay, great. I was saying that we have this network of 56 institutions in 15 countries. If you'd like to monitor or get real-time info from what's happening in blogs and Twitter and what people are talking about and learning from their projects, I suggest you visit our new Catalyst Hub website, catalyst.nmc.org. So the New Media Consortium has created this website that pulls in all sorts of interesting projects, not only from the Catalyst Initiative, but from other innovative projects around the world. So that's available too. The 56 organizations are all divided into 6 international consortia. So the Multiversity Consortium that was mentioned here, that John Bourne leads, is one of 6. We call them innovation sandboxes, where they're exploring, what can the future of STEM education really look like, and how can technology really transform the teaching and learning. So we have topics on online learning, on Pedagogy 3.0, which is the future of teacher preparation. We have a topic on collaboration, on the new learner, which is a combination of how does formal and informal learning combine so that students can have a rich web of learning resources available to them. We have a team looking at measuring learning that's led by the Carnegie Mellon University. And then we also have a new consortium that was just being launched now called STEMpreneur, being led by Tsinghua University, looking at making the STEM disciplines more relevant by adding the passions of becoming an entrepreneur to the science and math and engineering. So lots of interesting topics that are underway, and some really interesting projects too. There's I think some of the other webinars that John and the team have put together on online simulations, remote access to labs and whatnot. Some very interesting breakthrough thinking on what the learning experience can be like.
Thanks so much, Jim. And if there are no other questions, I'm going to move it over to Zarin, who has some last announcement.